Hello everyone, this video corresponds to the final exam step 4 for the course Materials Design for Virtual Environments. I'm Adriana Martínez and I belong to the group 16. In this video we're going to talk about the integration of the Web 202 tools to a foreign language class. And it's going to be based on a lesson plan that I created to a 7th grade class teaching simple past tense. First of all, we have to set the objectives goals that we have for the lesson plan and the different activities that are going to be applied. We have 3 different objectives. The first one is to talk about events in past and daily normal conversation. Second, to understand the use of regular and irregular verbs in past statements. And third, to ask WA questions about your past activities and your weekend. Now you can see our materials. And we are going to use a poster, a workshop in a printed way, and a screen or a computer, a board, and a marker. And the most important part are the Web 202 resources that we're going to use. Those are wallpaper or Padlet, Canva, YouTube videos, Blogger, and Bookaroo. All of those Web 202 tools are website pages used for educational purposes as teaching resources. So, to start, we have to point out the warm-up. This is the first stage of the lesson plan, and in this part, the teacher has to use a printed resource, which is this poster. With this poster, students can see the activities made by 2 people in the past days. He has to analyze the image and explain the meaning of the time expressions in past, yesterday, and last weekend. And the teacher also has to model the principal questions, what did you do yesterday and last weekend? And apply it to the activities shown in the poster. Then we have the presentation stage. In this part, the teacher explains the simple past tense, showing the different grammar components such as the types of verbs, regulars and irregulars, the auxiliaries, the structures for each statement, and the time expressions. Also, the teacher has to show some sentences as examples and analyze them with the students, presenting the components seen as part of the simple present tense. These 2 first stages are the introduction to the topic and to the whole activities. Now we have the practice stage. Here is where you start to introduce the use of the Web 202 tools. We have 3 different activities in our practice stage. The first one is where the teacher writes on the board some sentences in simple past tense, but with some mistakes related with the grammar structure or the correct form of verbs. He has to ask students to analyze the sentences and compare them to the learned structures. After that, teacher asks the volunteers who will write the sentences in the correct way. The second activity is related with a workshop. In this opportunity, the teacher asks students to organize in pairs and gives them a workshop. Here you can see an example, which is composed by a task and writing in simple past. The teacher explains to the students that they have to fill the gaps with the appropriate verbs in the past tense form and classify the verbs used that they find in regulars and irregulars categories. Then we have the first activity where we involve a Web 202 tool. The tool that we're going to use is called Canva. This is a website where you can create different kinds of templates such as brochures, posters, images, icons, and so on. The teacher explains to the students how they can use this tool and asks them to create a brochure where they show what they did the last vacation, using the past simple tense and some images that portray what they did. Remember, students, that the activity is going to be evaluated regard to the creative skills and of course the grammar use of the past verbal tense. Then we have the production part. In this stage, the teacher is going to use 2 different Web 2 tools The first one is a video, and the second one is the website called Padlet. First, the teacher presents a video to the students and explains that the video is a conversation where two women are talking about their last trip. Ask students to pay attention to the video and in order to talk about it and answer some questions. The video is presented in the website called YouTube and is going to be evaluated through some questions that will allow the assessment of the comprehensive and listening skills of students. After this, the teacher applied the second activity in the production stage. This is related with the creation of a notepad through a template in the website wallpaper or Padlet. In this notepad, students have to make some posts talking about what they did yesterday and the last weekend. They can illustrate the post with some pictures. Tell the students to remember they're going to evaluate in relation with their writing skills, grammar, and vocabulary used in the post that they make in the notepad. Finally, we have the stage of the assessment. In this final part of our lesson plan, the students are going to use two different web tools. The first one is Blogger and the second one is Bookaroo, but both activities are going to be linked. To start, the teacher asks students to create a blog in the web tool called Blogger. In this space, students have to write a diary during a week, speaking about the things they did every day. Everything has to be written in the past simple tense, applying to the contents seen in class. After this, it comes the second part, which is related with the use of Bookaroo. The teacher has to ask students to record an audio file using the online tool Bookaroo, where they have to read their diary's text in order to practice their reading skills. The link of the audio has to be aimed to the same blog page created in Blogger. These two activities represent the formative and summative evaluation to the whole lesson plan. So students will be evaluated regarding their knowledge about simple past tense, the verbs form for regulars and irregulars, the grammar structures for the statements, the time expressions about past, as well as their writing and reading abilities. This product is present in a Web202 tool in order to show students' abilities with the ICT tools and bring a motivational element to the evaluation process. So that's it. Thank you so much for listening to this video, and here you can see some of the bibliographic references applied to this work. Thank you so much.